Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. And it's Thursday. Thirsty. It's Thursday. Catherine, thank you for asking. Any word on Jenny? She is recovering nicely. She is in good hands, as you know, with Ian. And everything went swimmingly. So we're very pleased that she's on the mend. I'm sure she'll be on her way home probably today or tomorrow. Not quite sure that she spent overnight. She was overnight in the hospital. So anyway, she knows you're all praying for her. She feels the love, and obviously she's, I haven't spoken with her. I'm not pressing her, just sending her little love messages. And you can do that as well. If you want to send Jenny a message, send it into support@savingdinner.com. Tell her you love her. Tell her that you think she's the best, and that you're praying for her quick rebound. That's what we want. So who is here? Who's in the house today? We've already got Catherine and Doris, Deborah, Beverly. Alice is here. So is Lily. We're going to have a good time today. I promise you, we're going to have a good time. Keeping always, of course, our sweet Jenny in our prayers and in our thoughts. This week, we've been talking about this idea of being enough, and this idea of how we just get so completely unfocused and start going all over the place. Do you know anything about that? Anyone? Raise your hand, pinkies up, whatever you want to do. Hey, Jocelyn, it's good to have you here. I know for me, that's my battle on a daily basis, because there's so many times when I just want to say, I just don't want to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Well, today I'm going to show you kind of a little thing that I found that is super helpful to help you not do that anymore. Seriously. There's our girl Lynn and Martha also in the house. Happy to have you here. First of all, do you know about Vibrant Body Detox? I told you about that, and I went into deep discussion about it yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday's show, and why I take this every single solitary night. Vibrant Body Detox helps your body with its natural detoxability. Is that even a word? Detoxability? I don't know. But I love this. And I take it every night because at night, that's when your body does all that work. Why not help it and help support it and boost it? That's what this is about. This is not about some scary detox program where you need to be sitting chained next to a toilet. Okay? That's not what this is. So anyway, if you have questions about it, always remember, we are open books. You have a question, we're going to give you an answer. All you have to do is send it through the proper channels, which is email, to support@savingdinner.com. And if you have something that's for me, send it to me and just say, for Leanne in the subject line. It will always get to me, I promise you. We have excellent customer service, as you all know. Secondarily, so the Vibrant Body Detox, you can find it at savingdinner.com/show. Buy 3, you're going to get the 4th one absolutely free. And you don't have to do anything, just click the button. We do all the heavy lifting for you. Okay, there you go. The other thing is, and I'm going to do a teaching on this at some point, I'm going to teach you how to use L-glutamine to your benefit, right? I've got so many people asking me questions about L-glutamine. I mean, you should see my inbox on TikTok. It's loaded every single day. And I'm always asking questions like, can you take this one? Is it safe to take when you're pregnant? I'm not getting relief. What do I need to do? Those kind of things. I can help you with this. If cravings are a problem for you, let me know. Send me an email. But all I would do is tell you that the L-glutamine that we sell is 100% clean L-glutamine, no filler, no additive, right here in the United States, made from fermented beets, not scary things like duck feathers and human hair. Seriously. And the other thing about this stuff is that it works like that. You drink Crave water. It's easy. 1 scoop, 4 grams of L-glutamine to about 16, 18 ounces of water. Shake it up down the hatch, and boom, there go your Crave. I'm serious. I learned this from a psychiatrist. If you did not know this, a psychiatrist who specializes in addiction told me this. She said it's so simple and so easy. I have all my addicted patients on this. First line of defense. So get on that. If you want L-glutamine, go to savingdinner.com/L as in Leanne, G as in good golly gee whiz. All right, LG, L-glutamine. Check it out. It's there. Hello, Chris. I'm so glad you're here. The other thing is this quote is from one of our own and from June. And fear tries to take us away from the gift that is the present. And it's true. We oftentimes look at fear as something that we're scared of, like we're scared of snakes or we're scared of, whatever. And fear is just a little bit more sophisticated than just straight out, ooh, I'm scared of X, Y, and Z. And it masquerades as other things. So be aware that fear could be lurking, and you think that this is a fear thing when it's actual. You think that this is an anger thing, or it's a whatever thing. It could be fear putting on a mask. Just pay attention to that. Hi, Teresa. So today we're going to just kind of continue on a little bit talking about how the things that kind of hold us hostage and keep us back from this vibrancy. And one of the things that we do is we oftentimes use a lot of hyperbole. I grew up in a home where hyperbole was a way of life, but not in a positive way. My point today is that you can use hyperbole in a way that will help you and light you up. Now, hyperbole is saying things that are obviously just a little overly exaggerated, so I absolutely love using hyperbole for help with different things. And I'm going to show you how to use it in a way that is very constructive and not destructive, because they can go either way. And you remember, we talked about thoughts, that corrupt thoughts can really interrupt and take away from the vibrancy that we're seeking. So let's get on it. So hyperbole is a tool, just like, using your quote deck or your mindful mug or any other thing that you have in your toolbox. Meditation, journaling, using your Take Back Your Life journal. All of these things are tools to equip us to live that vibrant life. That's what we want. And we just set intentions every single day when we pull out these tools and we use them. It is an act inspired. It is inspired action. And it's an act of love for ourselves. It's a self-love kind of a thing that we can do every single day. Every single day. And I strongly encourage you to have this practice. You don't have to go buy all the fancy tools, and you don't have to have all of my stuff. You can go to the dollar store and go get yourself just one of these dollar composition books and get started. You can find free meditations on YouTube, all kinds of stuff out there. We have everything at our fingertips, including time, when we make the time and when we carve the time out for ourselves, right? Sometimes things get interrupted, but we can always say, okay, so put a pin in it. I'm coming back to that. Especially those of you who are mamas who are saying, here, yeah, come to my household, Leanne, come check it out. Listen, I've been there. I know what it's like, but I also know that we have the ability to change things up as we need to and move things around as we need to and tuck into little periods of time when we can. And it makes all the difference in the world, because it is a declaration to yourself of saying that I matter, I'm important, and this is love. Okay, just keep that in mind. So when we use hyperbole in a negative way and say here's one, my mom used to say this, these kids are killing me. Whoa, that's really something. because that is hyperbole that puts you into a destiny that you really don't want. You're making a statement. Remember, when we say these things, our brains aren't going, oh, she's just exaggerating. Our brains are saying, oh, really? These kids are? I mean, it's really that bad? Okay, so here comes some bad chemistry, load that up. But you know what it also does? It renders us powerless. It puts us in the position of being out of control and a victim. When something is killing you, it's too much. It's overwhelming. I'm going to die. Things like that there's no way out. It's a put you in the corner kind of a thing. And remember, nobody puts baby or lovely in the corner, right? So Ross Ellenhorn wrote a great book. I've got it around here somewhere. It's called How to Change. He also wrote another book called Drawing Your Life. Really a thought leader, big time, PhD, all of that. But this is what he says. He says, change stirs the pot on ourselves, which is an interesting thing to say, I think. Change stirs the pot on ourselves. Absolutely. And I think if we look at it from the perspective of the pandemic. How were we able to so dramatically shift and change our behavior during the pandemic to where it was from before? I mean, from before we'd go to crowded movie theaters, crowded stadiums for concerts, restaurants, etc., to all of a sudden not doing any of that, to all of a sudden distancing ourselves in grocery stores and what have you, and learning to wash our hands and getting a new sense and a new idea of exactly what's about. We were able to stay the course on all of this and to stay safe. And yet, when it comes to doing something a whole lot easier, a whole lot less deadly, right? Like changing some behavior with food and getting into an exercise program or whatever, we make it this declaration that it's just too hard, it's too overwhelming, that we don't have time. Putting us into this kind of hyperbole thing of seeing that we don't have the ability to do hard things, when in actuality, we do. So the other thing that Ross Ellenhorn says, he says it's like Survivor. The fear of hope is that we double down on the familiar. And that is true. We do double down on the familiar because what is familiar is what is comforting and it's what is known. And even if the familiar isn't good for us, we still do that. That is nature's way. It's the natural tendency and it's what we gravitate toward, unfortunately. But that's not going to make change happen in our lives. So we have to rethink some of these things. And one of the tools that we can use is hyperbole. I'm going to show you how to use it in a really great way. You're going to like this stuff. I promise you, write this down. And the other thing is just thinking about things just a little bit differently. Remember how I shared with you thinking about our thinking, how thinking about our thinking helps us to notice things a little bit more and helps us to make those changes instead of just going with the flow. We want to be in the flow. We don't want to go with the flow because the flow and the normal and the everything else doesn't create vibrancy at all. It doesn't show us and give us that path toward vibrancy. It gives us the path toward, Groundhog Day. That's what it does. So I've got 10 things for you. Yes, I do. I hope you write these down. If not, definitely get the show notes. You know what to do. Go to savingdinner.com and just sign up for our newsletter. It's free and loaded with good information. Number 1 is challenge your critical voice. Yes, you have one. Yes, I do too. We think, because we think it, we have to listen to it and we have to give it an ear and we have to weigh and measure. Is this something that I need to do? When in fact, oftentimes what it is that we just need to shut it down. Shut it down. Don't give it an ear. Let me ask you something, and I think we've all been in this. Those of you who are moms, do you remember when we would just shut our kids down when they were just going on and on and on about something like, no, you're not having the candy, and that's it. not another word, right? We can do that with our children because we don't want to hear it. And yet with our critical voice, we'll oftentimes entertain it. So think about that in a minute. You know how to shut things down. You've got skills. Shut down that critical thinking, that critical voice. It's not helpful. Number 2, you can do an if-then chart. I'll basically show you how to do it. It's really, really simple. You get a piece of paper and you do it just like this. If and then. That's the way it is. So if such and such happens, like if my kids keep asking for candy all the time, then I'm going to say, no, you may not have this candy. And your consequence is that when you get home, you're going to have to, scrub the grout with a toothbrush. I'm just kidding. But whatever, you understand what I'm saying. It's like we need to make sure that if a certain behavior crops up, that there is something that we can do instead, or a consequence, or whatever it is that helps you personally move the needle. If you remember, I spoke about Kara Lowenthal, and one of her things is that she's the one that did the thought ladders. And one of the things that she said, what motivates you? Is it punishment? Like you're going to have to give money to a horrible charity that you hate, like a punishment like that? Or is it reward, as in, if you do this, someone's going to knock on the door and tell you you won $1 million. What would motivate you? So that's how we have to think about those 2 things: is teach yourself better, figure it out. The then can be, you can have like a list of all these different thens, but the fact is, if you notice the behavior in question that you don't want anymore, and you take the time to write it down, and then you put the then part of what it is that you want differently, that's the beginning of change. That's the start of change and the start of vibrancy. Number 3 is to laugh at yourself. Now, not just belittle yourself and and be horrible to yourself, but just laugh at yourself and just say, oh, I can't believe I did. That's not me. That's not who I am. I show up for myself. I do these good things. I do this good work. And talk about yourself out loud in a way that is kind and generous and puts yourself in a better light, even if you're the only one listening. It's that important. Number 4 is a shampoo mantra. Do you have a shampoo mantra? I do. So do you remember in the movie Oklahoma, and she's washing her hair? I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. And she's washing her hair, singing this song. That's a shampoo mantra right there. We can have shampoo mantras. What do you want to wash out of your life? As you're washing your hair and you're getting in there and you're scrubbing your scalp and you're giving yourself what for, what do you want to wash out? Start singing the song. Now it's stuck in your head, isn't it? I'm going to wash that blank right out of my life. How about that? Shampoo mantras. Was that South Pacific? Not Oklahoma? Okay. All right. Thanks, Chris. I've been corrected. But yes. Okay. And hi, Helen, by the way. Okay. So washing that man right out of your hair, that's a good thing. Get that man out of your hair. I swear I thought it was Oklahoma. But I trust you, Chris. You know your Broadway plays. But what can you do with that? Can you make a shampoo mantra? I want you to think about that. And if you had theater nerd over here, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad somebody's there. I swear I thought it was Oklahoma. But anyway, no, that's furry, something with the fringe on top. Surrey with the fringe on top. I can mention a few of them, but that one I didn't remember. But let's do a shampoo mantra. Think about something that you want out of your life. I'm going to wash that procrastination right out of my life. I'm going to wash that, I don't know, whatever it is, that potty mouth right out of my mouth, right out of my life. I'm going to wash these bad feelings out of my life. What are you going to do? And while you're doing it, there's a connection there too, by the way. It's like when you write. When you're writing your goals out, that's why I want you to write your goals out. That's why, we don't do it digitally. Because there is a hand-eye coordination going on, and it makes things stick even more. Same with your shampoo mantra. So get on that. Tell me what yours are, by the way. I'd love to hear about it. Post them in the Hot Melt Sprint group. I'd love to see them. Number 5 is to love yourself up with amazing I am affirmations. And you can do that all day long. I one time was having a horrible bad week. Horrible bad week. It was not my best week at all. I was really down. And I sat myself down with my journal in the middle of the day because I'd already done my morning thing. And I just kind of, you know how you just kind of go through things and like through the motion. I don't like going through the motions with anything except cleaning toilets and that kind of thing. I want to go through it. I want to be noticing. I want to be a part of the process because the process changes me. That I know for sure. So in the middle of the day, one day I just sat down. I got out my journal, my trusty $1 general store journal, and I started writing. I am worthy. I am capable. I am able. I'm smart. I'm kind. I am friendly. I'm a good businesswoman. Everything that I could possibly think. I probably wrote like 8 pages. And at the end, I was almost crying because it was changing me on the inside because I am is so powerful. And as I wrote it out, I said, I am right under my breath. I was writing them out just under my breath. Try that little exercise. If you're just in the crapper and you feel like nothing's going well, it's a good exercise to try. Speaking of journals, number 4 is to journal your fanny bone off. Journaling is being able to take everything that's going on in your head and just dropping it like it's hot into your journal. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be, we're not looking for Pulitzer Prize winning essays here. What we're looking for is to get the stuff out, getting it out, Sorry, it's gross, but it's like popping a zit. It feels better when it's out, right? It does. It's like getting a splinter out of your finger. It is a relief to lose this stuff. And we oftentimes walk around with stuffed heads, with all this negative garbage, with all this to-do list stuff, and with all this, I should be doing this. And what really needs to happen? We just need to get it out. And once we get it out, it'll start to help make some room in there and allow you to start thinking just a little bit more clearly. Some of that stuff you're going to look at and go, why didn't you write that down? I don't even know. Number 7, it's a good one, especially we talked about this yesterday. When it feels risky, when it feels dangerous, when it feels like, oh my gosh, I can't, do it anyway. Number 1, you're going to get a dopamine hit. Number 2, it's going to shrink the amygdala because oftentimes we give our amygdala reign over our entire lives. And what do you think they do? A developed amygdala does. It gets bigger and bigger and it takes over. It says, hey, you want me to do your life? Happy to do it. And I don't know about you, but I want the prefrontal cortex on that mission because this is the thinker. It's your moneymaker. It's the thing that helps you to put together all kinds of complex issues, to think things through. And instead of being reactionary, you are proactive and you are in the driver's seat of actually controlling your life and not being led astray by all kinds of crazy stuff. It's like conspiracy theorists versus people who sit down and really think things through and ask for proof and all of that. So there's a big difference in all of that, isn't there? Right? Number 8 is to throw down the hyperbole. Okay, here's one that I have for you. And this is fabulous. I think you're really going to love it. I am radiant. I'm gorgeous. I'm super smart. And I can do anything I set my mind to. Why? Because that's who I am. And that's who I show up as every single day. Of course I can do this. Of course I have the capability. Of course I am blah, 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 blah. And we just keep going with this. We blow things up in a way that blows up maybe a deflated ego that needs a little bit of loving. It just helps us to see ourselves a little bit better. It's not going to put you into this, puffed up goofy, thinking way too much of yourself. Not at all, because most people don't have that issue. They have quite the opposite issue. Puts you in the driver's seat of saying that I'm worthy of being loved. That's what this hyperbole does. This is how we use hyperbole for our advantage. Number 9 is to contrast all of this. I want you to contrast this one thing. How much love and how much praise do you give your dog versus how much love and how much praise do you give yourself? When we are teaching our dogs, we have treats for them. We have constant praise. And the correction is like, no, this is not what we want to do. It's low voice. It's like, no, we're not beating our dogs, of course. We're trying to train them. We're trying to train them how to use the outdoors for their potty instead of our prized oriental rug. We're trying to train them how to be good on a leash and how to sit and how to properly behave as a domesticated animal in our house. And there's plenty of praise to go with it, but do we give that to ourselves? Just think about that. Am I praising myself as much as I praise my dog? There's a big contrast there. And then the last thing is we bloom when we're loved up. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing like being loved up. You can do it to yourself if there's not somebody to love you up. And we just kind of went through all the things that you can do and how you can be and how you can show up for yourself. But loving yourself is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself because it puts you in purpose. It allows you to see your gifts, your capabilities, and what it is that you have in your life so that you can live your life on purpose and for purpose. If you are fearfully and wonderfully made and the apple of God's eye, it is your duty to show up this way because there are things for you to do, right? Or you would not be here. That's the plain truth. That is the plain truth. So I hope you've enjoyed this week. I have. It's certainly been really great. And today's Thursday, so it's the end of our week. I wish for you the most magnificent, wonderful, lovely weekend ever. And again, I'm always here for you. Don't forget about our special of the week, the Vibrant Body Detox. You can still always get on the Ultimate Sprint. It's available for you at savingdinner.com/us, US. And any of our announcements are at savingdinner.com/announcements. So have a fabulous weekend. I will see you on Monday. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.